Hello, everybody. Welcome into the NBA Front Office Show. It's Friday. You know what that means.
Front Office Friday! Stay warm out there edition.
Stay warm out there edition. Yes, indeed. Screw you, Mother Nature. What is this nonsense? Awful. Everything that's happening in the Midwest right now, in the Mid-South and all of that. My goodness, stay warm, people.
Outside of Central Florida and South Florida, where this weekend we're going to be setting record highs somehow. We're supposed to be 85 on Sunday.
I'm heading your way, Keith. I'm heading your way.
We're ready, man. I got the guest room ready for you.
There you
go. We got the two TVs. We can put football on one TV, basketball on the other, and just join me, and we're going to have some good times.
See, the problem is then our wives are just going to leave. They're going to be like, forget this. And then you and I can just be happy. We'll just be hanging out, watching sports all day.
Not sure that's a loss for anybody involved there. It's a win all around for everyone.
All right. We've got a lot to get into on today's show. Yeah, Front Office Friday. Bryce said it's freezing edition. Stay warm, Bryce. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's go here to begin. Give us your questions, your comments. Will the Mavs stop winning? And can they get a trade done? Well, hopefully they stop winning this Saturday, tomorrow. I don't even know if these games are going to happen, Keith.
Yeah, so I was talking with someone with the league office who deals with like logistics and stuff, and they are like full on like monitoring. If maybe people didn't notice, but they already changed Wizards Hornets on Saturday, got moved up to a noontime tip in advance of some of the weather. And yeah, I mean, because it is, I mean, we're joking a little bit about it, but it is like scary stuff that could happen in a lot of the country. I mean, some of the places up in the northern part of the country are like in like the negative like 30s and things like that, which is bonkers. I had somebody reply to me and when I tweeted that out today and put that on Blue Sky, but they play the games inside. Yeah, thanks. But it's about people being able to get there. You know, like it's
and get
like,
there safely.
What are we doing? So
yeah.
It's I mean, it is a little it is a little you know, it's scary, and then it's also with the travel, right? Can planes get where they need to go, and can you get back out on the backside? So yeah, but the league does everything they can to get games played, even if they're moved up in the same day that they're scheduled, because it makes an absolute nightmare. I mean, you guys went through it with the Lakers. Was that last year or the year before with the fires?
That was last year.
Last year, yeah. Like just, and it was the absolute right thing to do to cancel all those games because you didn't need people focused on that and the police and emergency resources that need to be in and around the arenas. But it just creates a logistical nightmare to get the games in later.
Absolutely. So hopefully that won't create too many issues with getting these games off. But will the Mavs actually stop winning? I mean, the players on the floor are going to keep playing hard. Yeah. That's what they do, right? They've won their last 4. Is that what they should be doing? Absolutely not. They should be doing what they can to lose games right now. But at the same time, you're not going to tell the guys, hey, go miss shots. You know, if they're making shots, then so be it. And there can be, look, it's not that there's zero benefit to this, right? Because the benefit to the Mavs winning means, hey, maybe Cooper Flagg's development gets pushed along that much farther. Maybe you're building winning habits and those things ultimately pay off, and that could certainly matter. But in terms of the Mavs having control of their draft pick this year and not in future years, you would ideally want this year to yield as high of a draft pick as you can. Now, the best situation would be you get a bunch of great experience, your team bonds, you gel, you win a bunch of games, and then the basketball gods smile upon you with some lottery luck. That's the dream scenario. But at the same time, the reality is that the more games you lose, the better chance you're going to have to get that high draft pick to pair with Cooper Flagg for the foreseeable future.
And the last draft pick the Mavs have any kind of control over for the next few years too, which is that's factoring in here as well. Jason Kidd gave a real update on Kyrie Irving, not in terms of timeline, but said where we're at standings-wise will have no impact on whether Kyrie Irving returns because there's been this suggestion of, all right, maybe Dallas had, prior to this win streak, had turned towards, all right, maybe they're going to tank. Then it was, all right, maybe they are pushing to try to make the play-in tournament. And Jason Kidd said, nope, not going to do it. Like, it's not, we're not going to push him to play earlier because we're making a run. We're not going to hold him completely out. He'll play when he's ready to play, and left it kind of at that. So, which is, I think that's the way to handle it, right? Certainly don't play him before he's ready. That would be foolish. But if he's ready to play, there's no reason to say, you know what, hold him out. Because if you're already, if they pivot towards tanking and that's where you're going, Kyrie's probably not. You'll do other things to make sure Kyrie's 25 minutes aren't carrying you to unnecessary victories.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's go here. Tapping into Front Office Friday from Latvia. Welcome in from Latvia.
Yeah, good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the barbie.
It does. So it doesn't matter what country they're in. It just becomes good day,
I don't
mate.
know how to say anything in Latvian. But welcome in.
We'll have to talk to Kristaps. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll ask him next time I see him.
All right. Questions. Question, Keith and Trevor. If Milwaukee keep losing, Giannis will ask out, who is the best assets? I think Miami or New York will land him. It's not just who has the best assets. It's who has the best assets and is willing to push them all to the center of the table to get Giannis. I know the assumption is that everyone would, but like if you're OKC, I think it's a real conversation. Giannis is obviously great, but are the Thunder just kind of set as it is? Do you want to risk disrupting your chemistry? I think the same conversation could be had for the San Antonio Spurs. If you don't want to give up Steph Castle, you don't want to give up obviously Wemby, Dylan Harper. Do you just say we're going to hang out to these guys and we're good with our trajectory right now as is? But of the teams that should go all in after him, I think what it's ultimately going to come down to, it's not so much who has the best assets, it's where does Giannis want to go? Because if he asks out, it's going to matter with this situation.
100%. Unless this turns really ugly, and both sides are now like battling it out for some reason, which we don't have any reason to believe that's where it goes. It will take Giannis asking out and then Giannis not tanking his value in terms of trade me wherever you want, but I'm going to sign with this team. I mean, that's what Anthony Davis did, right? At the end of the day was, trade me wherever you want, but I'm going to the Lakers when I'm a free agent then if you trade me somewhere else. Now, the Pelicans still got pretty good value in that, or what should have been and what looked like
that's a haul.
Really, at the time it looked really good, right? But it was but it's that's what you don't want to have happen is Giannis says, all right, you know what? I'm going to New York in 2 years anyway, so it doesn't matter, or whatever he decides on. So that's where you got to be. That's where then they'll work together. I'll say the first part of this premise, though, if they keep losing, you'll ask out. Will he? I don't. It really feels like, and now you're getting more and more reporting. Some of it locally. You're getting it from the more tied in national writers. Is like nobody wants to be the bad guy, right? The Bucks don't want to say it's time to trade him because we can't make it work. Giannis doesn't want to ask for a trade, even though I don't think either side would be the bad guy here. I think everyone would be like, okay, it kind of is what it is. We did great together for over a decade. We won a title. It's not going where is best for any of us. So let's all move on. But it's just stuck.
It's almost like it reminds me a little bit of the bad relationship analogy that we've made so many times, and everybody knows that it's time to move on, and they're just not ready to do it. Well, we still hear people say, well, this team can't tank, this team can't rebuild because their fan base wouldn't accept it. No, I think they would. People know what's going on. Like we're not living in that world anymore. I don't think anybody would fault Giannis for wanting out. I don't know if even Bucks fans would fault him at this point for unless it became contentious. I think everybody kind of knows what it is, and it may just be. I think it would be nice just to have. It'd be nice for the whole damn league just to have some type of certainty with that. And I think that's part of the problem that we're seeing on the market right now is teams are still thinking, hey, Giannis, he may not be asking out right now, but he's not going to sign an extension when he's eligible to. And that's going to put him on the trade market. And we don't want to be caught without assets. So we're going to sit on our hands right now. And we're not going to make any moves. Now, that said, there's also not a whole lot of like super attractive players out there on the market to convince teams to go do something and risk not having assets if and when Giannis becomes available. But this whole Giannis thing needs to come to some kind of a resolution, like a firm, he is signing an extension or something, because otherwise I think teams are going to sit. He's that good of a player. Teams are going to sit and wait to see if they can make something happen.
Yeah, I think the only way this turns sour at all is if Giannis says, "I'm going here and here only," and that limits the Bucks' return. That's the only way Bucks fans get really upset. I think you're gonna have some people who are like, "Wait, why?" I only watch this team to watch Giannis, right? And that's fair too. I'm not even being critical of those people, but they're gonna exist. But for the most part, yeah, I think everybody will understand if it's time, it's time. Like once you get there, that's just kind of how it goes.
Bobby Marks tweeted this earlier today. Said regular season trades last 3 seasons, 23-24, 27 trades, 24-25, 25 trades, 25-26, 1. I think you're missing the context in this.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks from the deadline.
2 weeks from the deadline, and a lot of the moves happen at the deadline. That said, there's the possibility that this could be a dud line, DUD line, if teams really are waiting on Giannis, and some of the teams at the top don't feel like they have to make moves. The teams at the bottom don't feel like they are in a position where they should sell or need to sell. I think there's some unique situations like with Indiana, right, where they want to be good next year, and so they're going to be hesitant to sell off of players. But we are still weeks to go from the deadline. It's not, yes, only one trade, a little bit concerning, but it's also not that uncommon for trades to really pick up from here on out, or even as we get closer to the deadline itself, because that deadline tends to spark the activity. So has it been ideal so far? No, but I don't think we're getting no deals. I don't think this is going to be like the apocalyptic. What was the deadline where we had like 4 trades and they were all awful?
It was like Alexei Shved was like the biggest one. Like that was awful.
I don't think this is going to be that.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to get I think there's a good chance Trae Young is the biggest name and biggest contract that got moved during trade season. But if I had the time, which I don't mid-show, but I will I would dig into how many trades to this point had we seen, because the vast majority come in the last week. As much as it sometimes feels like the Luka trade dropped well in advance of the deadline, was it 2 or 3 days out?
February
from the
1st.
Trade deadline. So like it's not like, we're still pretty far out from things are gonna get done.
All right, let's go here. Can the Warriors get Miles Turner and MPJ? No,
not both of them.
That's
because unless you're trading Butler and Kuminga in the same deal, because that would be like,
sure.
I mean, that's even too much money going out there, but like, it's just not realistic that you're going to get both of them. Maybe MPJ. There's no sense that the Bucks are going to move Turner. That's I think we have another Miles Turner question coming later. And maybe that changes if Giannis wants out. Then maybe the Bucks are like, well, Miles, where do you want to be? Let's try to make something happen for you too. But no sense that they're looking to move him. MPJ, we'll see. But the Nets have put a high asking price because the Nets are going to try to be decent next year. They don't have their pick after this year. So I think they're very much in a place where it is like, all right, like you're going to have to actually trade real stuff. You're not just getting him for nothing.
And the sellers not wanting to sell is part of the problem on the market right now. M. Wesley said, is the Pels front office saying no one from their core is available legit or posturing to get better offers?
A little bit of both.
Yes.
Right.
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. Like if they got the right offer, I'm sure they would trade Zion. I'm sure they would trade some of their guys, right? But is the right offer there? It may not be. Look, you have to remember the Pels just spent the last 7-8 months getting absolutely skewered for their draft night trade. Everybody around the league has talked about what a stupid trade that was that they made. Not that Derek Queen is bad. I think Derek Queen is a great target, but that they should have never given up the pick that they did, or should have put protections on it, or what have you. Teams get burned in situations like that. So would it make sense for the Pelicans to be like, we're not going to trade in these guys unless we know we're getting a good deal. We can't afford to get another, the Pelicans just made a bonehead move situation. We have to know we're getting a great deal, and them being very cautious makes it look. My Lakers did it post Russell Westbrook trade. They were so burned that they were very hesitant to make any trades unless they felt like they knew they were getting a good deal.
Yeah, winning the press conference should not be a thing, and it's a thing that we deservedly so, I think, criticize teams for, but it's a real thing that happens. Is trying to win the press conference. So,
Keith, what do you think about Giannis for Jason Tatum straight up?
I wouldn't do it from either side. I think if you're the Bucks, you're taking on a lot of risk there. What if Jason Tatum isn't Jason Tatum again? And if I'm the Celtics, I feel like that's just going to further add to this. Like, I mean, even though the people who did that are not there anymore, this reputation of like Celtics don't care if you get hurt playing for them, they'll move you on right away.
Is the Isaiah Thomas thing?
Yeah, exactly. And there are a couple other guys who are in that boat too. But yeah, I think for the most part, this is like it's one of those things that seems like it's like, oh yeah, that's interesting because their salaries match, but like, nah, I don't think that's a real thing.
How are the center draft prospects for this summer?
Yeah, in a very, very strong draft class. It's not, there aren't any guys that are like, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be great. There are some good players a little further down in the class. There's some people who I know people really love as maybe late first rounders, but priority second rounders, meaning they're going to get like second round pick exception contracts versus two-way deals. So there's some people that people like about that, but that's the one position where it's not like really good. There are some good power forward size guys like Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer, players like that, Nate Ament, depending on where people are. Maybe Wilson and Ament could slide over and play some at the 5. They're kind of, think of like Evan Mobley's kind of build where it's like, okay, you can play him at the 5 some, but really is more of a 4. But we'll see, where that all goes. I will say this, because we're not going to spend a bunch of draft time today. I am going to spend the week of the All-Star break diving deep into my draft stuff. I am way behind on it because we've just had a lot of other things going on this year. So when we come out of the All-Star break, I'll be far better position to talk about the draft.
All right, let's go here. Thoughts on Cody Williams' recent improvement? Yeah, he's up to, in the month of January, he's now shooting 55% from the field, 36% from 3. Marked improvement from the 9% from deep he shot in December, averaging just under 10 points per game for the Utah Jazz, but also seeing a consistent uptick in minutes, now at 24 minutes per game this month for Utah. I mean, look, the pick hadn't been quite panning out the way the Jazz wanted, so good to see signs of life here. The question is this sustainable?
Yeah, and like the good news is, like, I'm glad you called out the shooting efficiency because that gives you hope. It's not like he's scoring 10 points a night on 30% shooting, so it's all volume related. He's been more efficient. I think he's figured out kind of how to play with Keontae George and Isaiah Collier and Ace Bailey. Those guys have been getting a lot of run together. We have a Yusuf Nurkic question in the queue somewhere. I mean, he's been ridiculous. Talk about if anybody's like doing the full-on showcase for trade value right now, it's Yusuf Nurkic, who could probably help a team that needs a big, especially if they need more of an offensive minded big, because you're not getting a lot defensively out of him. But it's good to see with Cody Williams, right? This sounds super snarky, and I don't really mean it this way, but it's a hell of a lot better than what we had seen.
Sure.
So.
And Nurkic, I had their salaries pulled up because I had somebody asking me about him last night on my Lakers Nation show, but $19.4 million this season, expiring contract. So you could see a team potentially go after him there.
Yep, pretty acquirable guy.
Could the Pistons go less swing for like Cam Johnson? I don't know if that's going to be a less swing.
There's no sense Denver wants to move him. Plus, he's hurt.
Exactly. If I'm Denver, if I'm going to move on from Cam Johnson to open up the ability to keep, Peyton Watson or something, I'm not doing that till the summer because I'd want to still have Cam Johnson for your playoff run. Kobe White, Keon Ellis, Cam Spencer. I mean, sure, they could target just about any one of those. And they definitely need shooting. They could use shooting. Of course, they're going to want to try to keep their defense up.
Shooting and ball handling. Like that's yeah. He's right. There's too many games where it's Cade Cunningham has to do all their creation work. Because Jaden Ivey, even though he's had flashes, Jaden Ivey's much more of a self-creator. He's not really creating for others. Kobe White would be a decent target. I think he'd be pretty good. Keon Ellis would be great. Cam Spencer would be really good, but the Grizzlies have no interest in moving him. He's on essentially a minimum contract. They're not going to move him.
Yeah. All right, let's go here. Do you think OKC is actively looking to trade, or would they just wait for their phone to ring? So many first-round picks. Yeah, Keith, they have more picks than they can use, really.
Sure.
So at some point, they're going to have to kick the can down the road and turn those picks into future picks. I don't know if they need to do that now, though. They may be able to just do that ahead of the draft and accomplish some things.
Yeah, I think it'll be more along the lines of, we really like a player in the draft. We can give you 3 picks to move up, even if it's only 2 spots. I mean, we saw them do that for AJ Mitchell in the draft a couple years ago. They moved up to get him. Dylan Jones, who didn't pan out for them, but they moved up to get Dylan Jones. That's the benefit that they have, is like, we can give you, you want 3, 4, 5 picks to move up, 3 slots. Great. Let's go. So.
Are you two going to do another in-person show soon?
Probably not soon. I mean, we would love to. It's just like being in the same spot at the same time is not as easy as you think.
Depends on Mother Nature. I may be rooming with you shortly.
This is true. Yeah. If things go south for you otherwise, maybe you'll have nothing but in person.
That's right.
Shows together.
So. That's right. Could the Denver Nuggets trade Zeke Naji, Julian Strother, and Hunter Tyson for Ayo Dosunmu? I guess the question is, would the Bulls do that?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? That's you're also asking the Bulls to take on 3 for 1 in this trade. I didn't even check if the math. I think Dosunmu for Naji alone probably works pretty close. It should be. But I don't know. Maybe. I guess probably. I would guess probably not. I don't get the sense that Denver feels the need to add another guard either. Jalen Pickett has played pretty well for them, and they've been pretty happy with him, and they love Hardaway and Brown. So Dosunmu would be a nice get, but let's not count out Zeke Naji, who's played a real role for them, has actually played pretty good basketball recently.
Yeah, absolutely. Odds LA parts ways with Pelinka and Genie this summer. I mean, Genie contractually is the governor of the team for the next, I think it's now, 4.5 years or whatever. Like that.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
So I don't think, could Rob Pelinka be on the hot seat if this year's trade deadline doesn't go well and the summer doesn't go well? Then maybe, but I don't think that's coming anytime soon. Feels like the front office and team overhaul may be on the table more than ever. I think that what you'd see from Mark Walter coming in would be more voices added to the front office rather than replacing. Genie certainly isn't going anywhere unless something dramatic happens that we're not, anticipating. But Genie isn't going anywhere. Rob Pelinka, I don't think he's really on the hot seat right now. We're still less than a year from the Luka trade. I thought the moves he made over the summer were pretty good. Does more need to happen? Yes, the moves made over the summer were done in anticipation of having the ability to do more stuff at the trade deadline. Yep. He doesn't do anything at the trade deadline. Yes, that will reflect poorly, but we'll see where all of that goes. But I don't think it's as dire from that perspective as a lot of Lakers fans make it out to be right now.
I will say I have very much gotten the sense he's going to get another round of transaction cycles, so trade deadline and off season, to see what they do before they'll make a move like that. And the Genie stuff is just, that's not going to go. I want to pull this one real quick just because, guys, this isn't us. That's a YouTube thing. Like if you're getting ads during a live, that's YouTube, not us. We're not putting ads in the middle of the show like that.
Yeah, I'm not hitting a button and putting an ad in or whatever. I might later though.
Yeah, later, and you'll know when it's that because we will disappear kind of. But yeah,
Claxton as a trade target. I mean, Nick Claxton, Michael Porter Jr., right? The two pieces I think most teams would want from the Brooklyn Nets. And we'll see ultimately what that will look like if they do move on from them. But Claxton's been in trade rumors for years now.
Yeah, he's a guy, again, tradable contract. really good defensive player. He's shown real offensive improvement this year. You have to kind of be able to scheme because you might not be able to have him on the floor late in close games because he can't make free throws. But you're just like nice player. Contract is good for the next couple of years because it declines, and for what his role is, young enough that he fits in a lot of different places. So yeah, trade target for a lot of teams. But again, the Nets are not just looking to get off money. I mean, they're looking to take on money, quite frankly. They want to use their 15 million in cap space. So it's they're not necessarily looking to move that. This is funny. Claxton is the new John Collins. He's got another year to go of being constantly in trade rumors before we get there. But yeah, he could end up there.
Let's go here. Are the Blazers going to be buyers at the trade deadline?
Yeah, maybe. I think if they are, it'll be more of the we're going to move out this money for that money, fill a hole, and maybe you get a player who can help. Like think about like Jeremy Grant, right? We moved Jeremy Grant's contract for a contract that is similar-ish value-wise, where maybe it's not great, but that fills a hole for us. And Jeremy Grant can help you, and we, kind of win-win on both sides. I don't think they're going to be like trading young guys. Most of the young guys aren't in a position to be traded anyway. They're not going to move Klingon. Sharp just got extended, so he's not going to be there. Same with Kamara. And they're not going to be there trade-wise, I should say, to be very clear. And then Scoot Henderson hasn't played all year, so there's no value in moving him right now. So, maybe Drew Holiday gets moved. Maybe Grant, maybe Rob Williams. We'll see. But those wouldn't be, I don't think, like monster trades like that.
Right. Jaden Ivey has a cap hold of $30 million.
Yeah, so players coming off rookie scale, if they are at the equal to or less than the average player salary, their cap hold is 250% of their prior salary. Coming off a rookie scale, if they are less than the average player salary, which Ivy would be, it's 3 times there. So it's 300% of the prior salary. It's essentially to make sure like teams aren't banking a ton of cap space all the time by saying like, just keep these guys, and wait till restricted free agency. It's try to help the players get deals done earlier because you're not just sitting on a ridiculously low cap hold.
Ace has said, hey guys, any word on possible trade moves from the Brooklyn Nets, considering the cap space they have? Maybe Goga Bitadze, Jeremy Sohan, Obi Toppin. Thanks. Yeah, I think they're going to want to take on money in exchange for assets. And they're going to be, hey, 2 teams are talking trade. Hey, we need some place to dump a salary. The Brooklyn Nets go, we'll do it for a price.
Yep.
And
yeah.
That's the way
that's exactly it. It's I don't know about any of those guys, but like it's I don't think Bitadze, he's like too important to the Magic.
Do you think they move Cam Thomas?
Yeah, I do think Cam Thomas will get moved. Contract's small enough, and I think Cam Thomas will get moved to, it'll be one of 2 places. It'll be a place where he sees a future there and that he can resign, or a place where he can play a big enough role with enough people seeing him play a lot that he can, build back his value for free agency in the summer.
Good afternoon, Trevor and Keith. Love Front Office Friday. Finally saw Draft Day the other night. I want all my draft picks back. Love it.
Perfect.
Good movie.
Enjoy your pancakes.
Good, bad movie, but good movie.
I don't even know. Bad. We might.
Well, it's bad now from the sense that the trade, like even at the end, it was so unrealistic, the trades that they made. And the net value of those trades wasn't that great. And then for the all movie, I'm sorry, there's a spoiler alert, but all movie, the radio analysts, right, that are just criticizing him. If he doesn't make a big move, he will be gone and all this stuff. And then at the end, they thought they get this star quarterback who everybody still thinks is a star quarterback, and then they trade him away. And the radio guys are suddenly like, well, what do I know? He knows what he's doing. I'm like, what? That would not be like, they'd be like, what? Why didn't we get Bo Callahan? What's happening here?
Listen,
they'd be upset.
Draft Day should win the Oscar this year for Best Picture, and I don't care that it didn't come out this year. So that's how I feel about Draft Day. It should get Best Picture Oscar nominations every year with that, but
because it's that
yeah.
Well, it's very quotable.
Yeah,
it's very quotable.
I love that movie.
I will watch it every time it's on.
It might be time for a rewatch coming up here soon.
Yeah. How can Golden State pull off Giannis and LeBron next year? It would be a trade for Giannis, and then you'd be signing LeBron and say, we have an MLE or whatever to give you something,
taxpayer like maybe, or
whatever they have actually access to.
Yeah, so not very likely,
right? And I think people took that report that came out as like they want both, and I'm sure if the opportunity was there to have both, they would like to have that. But I took it as more they want Giannis or LeBron.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to get both. And I think a lot of people took it as they're getting both.
Chat's saying we missed a super chat, but I didn't see just miss one. I don't know. All right, we'll find it.
Yep. Hello, Trev and Keith from Dubai. Welcome in.
Yeah, good day, mate.
Good day. It's cold even here in the desert. Do you really see a possibility there would be no more activity aside from the Trae Young trade? I mean, it's possible, I suppose, but I would think that would be very unlikely that we go through an entire trade deadline and it's just crickets all the way through.
Yeah, there's no way that's it. Like no. I don't know what I would bet, but I would bet a whole bunch of money that, or I don't know, other things. If there's no more trades, like that would be crazy.
Yeah. There would be a historic. We would remember this time. Tales would be told of these trying times if there were zero trades from here on out.
Yeah,
like we would always remember it as the apocalyptic trade deadline of 2026. How about Nurkic back-to-back triple doubles?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, incredible. I mean, good for him. Yep.
Nurk alert.
Yeah.
Are the Orlando Magic the most disappointing team in the East this year so far?
It's still Cleveland for me.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But the Magic, it's definitely a struggle. And I don't know if people saw, Franz's ankle is not right. He missed yesterday's game after going through shoot-around. They were like, he can't play. And Jamal Mosley said it's really, really, really sore, lingering soreness. So he might have come back a little too early from that one, but it's still Cleveland for me, even if Cleveland's maybe starting to turn the corner.
All right, let's go here. A straight Mathurin for Messi trade doesn't make much sense. Why not? Do you think this could be a framework for a bigger deal involving Trey Murphy or Herb Jones? No.
Nope.
No. Why wouldn't that make much sense?
Yeah.
I think would Indiana want more? Yes. But this is Indiana waits until the trade deadline, nothing better materializes, and then they do this because if they decide we don't want to be the team to pay Ben Mathurin on his next contract,
yep.
That's what it comes down. If they say, hey, he wants $25 million, he wants Josh Giddey money, we don't want to go there. Right. And we could talk whether does he deserve that money or not? Should a team want to pay him that? But if Indiana decides we don't want to be the team to give him that, and you think Messi is your long-term answer at the center spot, and he's an upgrade over what you've got right now, and they've tried a lot of different guys at the center spot, then turning a guy you don't want to pay into your potential long-term answer at the center spot, even if he's not a starter right now for New Orleans, it's not that doesn't make sense. You may want more value, but if that value doesn't come, the alternative is you pay a guy that you don't want this summer. And I think the Warriors are living that life right now, and it's not so fun.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to the Mathurin part. You hit on all of it. Not everything is always, there's something bigger coming. Like, that's fun to think about, but it's not. And when a deal gets held up, it's pretty rare that it expands. Even the Trae Young deal. And there was a point where I was like, all right, this has now held longer than I thought. And it just went through as reported. And just, sometimes things get roped in or tied together. But that's much more common in the off season than it is in the that trade deadline time.
All right, let's go here. Why isn't Knipple getting much attention from the media for one of the greatest and most efficient rookies we've ever seen. Is he not getting it? I thought he's getting a lot of attention.
I think he is. Yeah. All I'm seeing from media people is like, is he rookie of the year?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, he's awesome. Like I don't know what more we can do to help that. He's been really good. He's held up far better defensively than I think anybody thought he would. And then the offense is further along than I think he's where we thought he might get to offensively, and he's already there. So that's really encouraging for where he may go to, in the future. So yeah, he's been great.
Let's go here. Are JB and Tatum Celtics lifers, or will one end up leaving or get shipped out? I mean, you can't predict the future on
history
on
tells me no. I mean, very few guys go wire to wire with just one team. Just doesn't really happen anymore.
Not and it's part of why I wouldn't mind if Giannis just stays in Milwaukee.
Yep, like same.
It's a cool thing, I think, when somebody spends their entire career with one team. Please help. We need Celtics. I know everybody is starving for something. Anything. I mean,
flagged this because you're gonna hear stuff, but the Celtics don't do the things that people link them to. Like they just, it's not how they've worked under Brad Stevens. That has been maybe the biggest 180 between the former front office led by Danny Ainge and the current led by Brad Stevens. And I think that's the coach in Brad Stevens is like, we don't need players hearing their names in every trade rumor every day. And then putting it on Joe Mazzulla, who actually needs to see them every day, being the one to answer those questions when he's not having the trade conversations. My guess Stevens was like, I didn't really love that when I was on the other side of it. So we're not going to do it to them. They work pretty quietly. So when you hear like they're linked to guys, it tends for me, I'm like, all right, I am all analyze. Real good use of the English language there. You feel English? That's impossible. You bet my Wookie. It's we're gonna do a summer show where it's
just Simpsons quotes.
Yeah. But I'll analyze the potential idea behind something, but I almost always end it with, but it's not gonna happen. So
why do they call them fingers if you never see them fing? Oh, there they go. Otto. Hey guys, Keith, could you potentially break down what the Pistons could offer to retain Io if they traded for him? Would it be like the LaRavia situation in Sacramento?
Nope. No. So completely different. LaRavia got stuck by the fact that he had his option declined. So when you decline a rookie scale team option, the team that has the player at the end of it is tied to, they can pay them no more than the amount of the declined option. That even though the Grizzlies declined it, that carries over when a player is traded, which obviously was the Kings issue then. With Dosunmu, he's just coming off in a contract where this, I think, got a little confusing for some folks because I got asked by a handful of people is Dosunmu can't extend for all that big of a contract because if you trade a player, the player is for 6 months can extend for more than what they're allowed to extend for via extended trade rules, which is adding no more than 3 more years onto the contract. So you could add 3 new years, but only 20% raises off year, or 120%, right? Not 20% raises, 120% of the first year contract, and then 5% raises after. So it's just not a very big raise for Dosunmu. I think he would rather at that point say, let's just play it out to free agency and I'll figure it out. If a team acquires him or if the Bulls keep him, they assume his full bird rights and you pay him whatever you want up to his max.
Thoughts on how Splitter has done since taking over in Portland?
Really well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough spot, right? To be in, like, hey, you're now the coach. Good luck with this in the wake of a huge, gambling scandal. And they've played really well. I mean, they're playing great basketball right now. So yeah, all good.
Their last 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I know. I thought it was something.
I was like, are we going to get to hit the button? Somebody said that on Twitter.
We're going to hit the button today.
Like, yeah, I think we're gonna use the button today. Not yet. I hope.
Scuba Steve said, "Hey Trev, since the
Damn
Hornets
you!
beat LA, can you stop using the using us as the sure teams hypothetical?"
I don't know what that
I
means.
don't understand. Oh, wait. He followed it up. In your bad teams examples.
Oh,
How did that turn into? Well, anyway, bad teams. Do we use the Hornets as
I
bad
do.
teams example?
Yeah, I used to call it Tuesday nights in Orlando, and then I've openly said then the Magic got too good for that, so I started calling it Tuesday nights in Charlotte.
I mean,
Like,
historically,
yeah,
they've been very, very bad.
yeah,
Um,
playing better.
but I mean, I did radio in Charlotte before that game and was talking about how it wouldn't be a bad thing for the Hornets to make the play in this year, because I think they could make a real push next year if they can get guys healthy. Like, they're a legitimately good offense when they really get things rolling. They've got stuff that they need, but no, the Hornets are looking up right now. I don't know what LaMelo Ball's long-term future is going to be, but I think they largely hit on their picks, obviously with Kahn, but I like what Ryan Kalkbrenner has done off the bench. I'm curious to see what they do with Miles Bridges at the trade deadline, if he ends up staying.
We get some trade rumors about him today.
Yeah, so it's I think they're in an interesting spot right now. Charlotte is, and things are certainly. It helps when you hit on a big time pick, and that seems to be what they've done with Kahn.
Yeah. I'll make a promise. I'll try to be better, and I'll switch it to, I don't know, maybe the Wizards now.
Yeah,
or the Pelicans, I guess. I don't know, one of the two.
The Pelicans. Well, yeah. Oh, the Pels. What should Dallas expect for Najee Marshall and Gafford?
Najee Marshall is pretty high value. He's very plug and play as a wing because he's proven the shooting has been pretty good. He's showing a lot more on ball creation ability recently. The Mavericks have kind of gone back to this no point guard look, and Marshall's been doing a lot more of it. They've not necessarily said, all right, it's back on Cooper Flag. Excuse me. So I think Najee Marshall, like, really good value. His contract's like $9 million, so that's like nothing to take on. Gafford, that's more dependent on, do you need a center, and are you open to having his contract long term?
I think both of these guys fall in the team is going to say we need a first, and other teams are going to say we don't want to give a first.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's going to be, and then it's going to be, can you find a middle ground? You know, especially now, like we look at the way first got traded a few years ago, first aren't moving like that anymore. Not to that degree, unless, with some exception, obviously the Des Bane trade had a lot of first going out, but I could see, because right now every player out there, it's a first round pick. Keon Ellis, first round pick. Nope, first round pick. Got to have it. And I think, will they come off of that? That will determine whether or not those guys move, or is that where you get into the, okay, we're going to do it first, but let's talk protections, things like that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's those are the I call those 230 on deadline day deals.
Yep.
Like, it's all right. Now we really want to move the guy. Like in that, Keon Ellis is a great example there. Doesn't play despite being exactly like what the Kings need on the floor, which is a 3-and-D type player. So, yeah, I think it's pretty clear he's going to move, but right now they want a first. Sam Amick had that, who is just money with Kings stuff, always. And it's it will depend. Do they say, all right, give us 2 real seconds?
Yeah.
Then he probably goes very easily. Does a team say, all right, fine, we'll give you the first, but we're gonna lottery protect it in case everything goes sideways on us. So it's tough, but yeah.
All right, let's go here. Since it's Friday, have you watched the Darth Maul Shadow Lord trailer? Nope.
No. I like the Star Wars stuff, but I'm not as big on Star Wars as I am Marvel stuff. I did watch the new Game of Thrones show.
Oh yeah.
I did carve out time for that. It was really good. I liked it. It's very light. It was pretty funny throughout, which the novels or novellas, I guess, because they're short, are also pretty funny from what I've heard. So Yeah, it was enjoyable. I'm seeing some people who are like hardcore Thrones people being like, it wasn't dark enough. And it's like, God, you get any darker than where Game of Thrones was. Like, and kind of let's have a conversation about your mental state. I almost quit Game of Thrones when there was, I mean, spoilers for a show that ended, 5 years ago or something. There was a stretch where it's like every episode, bad things happen to children. And I was like,
oh, that's rough.
Like, I was like, you can't, like, we're killing kids, we're treating them horrible. I was like, I just can't do that anymore. So,
let's go here. What are you hearing on Sabonis to Raptors rumors?
Yeah, Toronto's been involved. Toronto's, I would say right now, probably the most like active team out there. So I think they're gonna get something done. It's just gonna find the right team that's open to RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Poeltl. Spoiler alert, I've got a worst contracts in the NBA piece coming out later today, and there's a couple of those guys on there. So it's it's there. So.
Do you have one? Do you designate like the worst contract?
Oh yeah, I rank them. Yep.
Okay. I wonder how Joel Embiid's going to feel about
that. Just a spoiler.
I don't want to spoil.
Probably hit it right on nail on the head.
Keith, do you think the Patriots go all the way? I think they're in the Super Bowl.
Of course,
I mean,
yes.
They gotta buy to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah.
I mean that's not their fault, are they? That was my God to get.
We'll see. Denver's been an absolute house of horrors for the Patriots since I was a kid. It's like everything that can go wrong goes wrong there. Is a Patriots Rams Super Bowl the NFL equivalent of Lakers versus Celtics to you guys?
No, it's not. The rivalry.
No, and the
same.
It was also like the first one the Rams were in St. Louis. They weren't even back in LA at that point. I think the second one they were back in LA. When did they move back to LA?
And I don't consider myself it was a decade ago, and I don't consider myself to be maybe more like a Rams fan per se. Like I'll root for the Rams when they're on TV and stuff, but I'm not a fan. I grew up without the Rams in LA. So I'm not a fan of any specific football. Like I can watch a game and just watch a game and not really have a rooting interest because I didn't have a team in LA growing up. The Rams had moved away. So it's definitely not the same as that.
They don't play enough. Like that's like football rivalries, you have to play like a lot for it to even be a rivalry. Like we don't really have cross-conference rivalries like that unless it's like Jets and Giants, and that's only because they're both New York teams.
49ers, bro. You grew up when the 49ers were winning their 5. Honestly, I really didn't care much about football growing up. I just didn't have much interest in it. I only got into football later on when my buddies pulled me into a fantasy league, and then I got into fantasy football. I was just not particularly interested in football.
Yeah, I liked the Pats from the time I was a kid, but most of my childhood was spent hoping they would go like 7-9 and not lose 10 games. And then they had this long run of like, all right, all we got to do is lose and we get a really good draft pick, and then they'd win. And I was like, what? Why do we support this stupid team?
Right.
In this awful stadium with concrete seats. Still worse.
Keith, that is one of my pet peeves right now. It's why do we continue building outdoor stadiums in cold weather cities? It makes it like, let's actively take a game that can be very, very fun and do something that will make it worse and make it not fun.
Part of it.
It's part of the experience. It's macho. It's you got to be out here and everything. Let's take a fun game and make it worse. Like
this is the most Southern California thing you have.
I know, and that's just it. Everybody turns that into you just don't like cold weather. You can't handle cold weather. Blah 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 blah. No, I want to see good football. I don't want to see guys run the ball 30 times a game because you can't throw because there's snow everywhere. Players are freezing and nobody can do anything. Like that sucks. That's not fun.
Man, you turned into the Southern California boy there real quick.
Honestly, it's fantasy sports. I don't want to see a game ruined and nobody puts up any points because of the weather because we refuse to build. We have the technology, use it. The hell are we doing? Good Lord. It's like, what are the Cowboys thinking? Put in that stupid window right where the sun comes in. So you have to look right into
So
it. Like
God
what about
what
a design flaw that, and it hurts their own team too. What are you thinking?
Man, Trevor is like playing the role of me today, getting on the soapbox all cranky.
It's been a pet peeve of mine about football for ages. Like, why do we intentionally do? Oh, we're building a new stadium. Put a effing roof on the damn thing. I almost did it.
Wow. I wasn't even the one who took the show off the rails today. That's like 99% of the time. That's me.
Today is me versus Mother Nature. That's it.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I also said I'm not there's no weather impacting. I don't know, I might stay inside. Might be a little too warm out.
All right, let's go here. What's been your thoughts? Favorite rule change on the court in the last or off the court in the last few years? Mine would be implementation of two-way contracts.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it was a really good change. They made it in the bubble, and then they made it stick the years after, and then like made it stick for good. Kind of semi-related. 15 players active for games, I think was a really good change. Versus when it used to only be 13. I think that's a really good change. And then I think it's a really good change that they made it so you can do hardship 10 days before 10-day contracts can start. I think that's also been a really good change.
I think for as much criticism as it got, I think the play-in tournament has been a really good change.
Big time. Yeah,
I think that's worked out in a great way. On the court, I think they stopped a big problem as it started to become a big problem with the transition take foul rule. I think that was great.
Huge. Yeah, that was really good one. And then I'm gonna go to my grave saying I want it to be I really, really wanted them to change the goaltending rule to the FIBA goaltending rule. And everybody says, oh, no one would ever score. It's just not true. It just makes everything easier.
Pelicans arena news. I know we got to get out in just a minute here. Hoping they move to Seattle. I think the NBA would prefer not to move teams. Take a team away from a city.
Yeah, they really don't want to be moving teams. So,
what team wins a playoff series first? Wizards or Nets? I think Wizards are closer to it. They've got more young talent in place. But I mean, both teams are kind of not a few feet off the starting line right now. Neither team is close to, getting to that point.
I'm gonna go the other way. Just the Nets are. I could see the Nets getting more talent in the door quicker that gets them into the playoffs. They've got all that cap flexibility. So do the Wizards, but the Nets have done it before, right? Where they turned cap space into players. So I would go with the Nets, but it's a little ways away for both of them. I hope the Nets don't do that though. Just build steadily because that's going to be better for you all around.
Yeah. Yep.
Somebody there it is. What's the FIBA goaltending rule? You can take the ball right off the rim. So it's not, you can't goaltend. People hear they like that and think you can goaltend.
No one would ever score on Wemby. You just stand at the basket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Wemby can't be like the cards place guy with the arms waving like crazy. But it's you just once the ball hits the rim, it's live. So it eliminates like was that in the cylinder stuff and all that. Like it's just better. And like people think that it turns into like I think people have this assumption that FIBA games must be 20-10, like your local, youth league game. And it's just not. I mean, it's pretty rare that they can't do that. So
it actually, I think, makes a little more sense because there isn't as much of the, was this is it just falling off the rim? Is it, what I mean? Like it's just, it's a live ball.
That's it. Did you see that goaltend in the Sixers game that they missed?
Oh man, that was brutal.
That was really bad. So there's another rule change. We should have a fourth official in the arena that immediately gets the replay. And you don't even need to review it with the on-court team. They just say, that was wrong. Points go on the board. and just be done with it. Like those are like they shouldn't be reviewing fouls and judgment calls, but was the guy in or out of bounds? Was there a timing related issue like before or after shot clock or quarter buzzer and goaltending stuff?
Yep.
Like just I would like change that today.
And that was another unfortunate situation where you couldn't challenge it because there was not a call to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's because people are like, "Why is Nick Nurse not challenging?"
Because he can't
challenge that. It's
there
not
wasn't a call.
Yeah, you need a call, and that's sometimes why you do see some officials are more quick to make a call because then it's you know what I wasn't sure. At least now it can be looked at. But
yeah. All right.
I think we got there.
Everybody, appreciate all of you. Stay warm out there.
Yeah, we were joking around about it at the beginning of the show, but seriously, be careful this weekend. And, you know, it's like I hope everybody can stay safe and stay warm. That's
absolutely.
I mean, I do live in Florida now, but I grew up in Massachusetts and some pretty, hellacious storms that were really bad where we went without power for a long time. And it gets really scary. So be careful. If you got time to go out and get your stuff, go get it done. It's just like we say before hurricanes here. Like you're better off having a bunch of stuff than you don't need it. Just eat it anyway than not having anything. So stay safe, everybody.
All right, everybody. On that, best of luck this weekend. See ya. Stay safe.